full-blown use cases in their jobs where they will actually use it.
So we've sort of looking at the bigger picture. We've talked about the executive sponsorship, the mid-level manager, the person actually running the team. Not a data person necessarily. Maybe they have some few data people in their team, and they recognize the need for their team to work with data better. How critical is that person in the bigger scheme of things?
Very, because they are the ones running the show. Like the executives buy in, they invest, learners are going through the program. What about those learners' bosses? If they're not trained, if they're not data literate enough, if they're not this or that, they need to go through a program themselves. Now, is it going to be the exact same? Maybe, maybe not. For them, it could be more conceptual, but also being taught how to be a data and analytical leader, or how to be a leader whose team uses data and analytics. So they have to go through, they have to understand what the program is that is being run at the company. They need to know who's a part of it. They need to know the academic principles on how things are being applied and to lead their team. So it's pretty critical. They better know those sort of things, or else they're putting their learners through something that if those learners come to them and ask a question, they might not be able to answer it.
Yeah, we've seen that, and even at both levels there, we see at the learner level and the manager level, we see data fear coming to the surface. People are absolute experts in their field, but they don't necessarily want to be exposed for not being data. I mean, the name data literacy's got a bit of a sting to it, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not data literate, what am I? Am I illiterate? No, I am. I'm a manager of a team of 50 people. I can't be calling myself illiterate. Exclude me from the program, or do not surface. Do not surface results. And that's reasonable, right? So I think it is important for us to get the right positioning up front. How do we present data literacy? You find that fear is real and justified?
Yeah, because it's like I think I maybe said this last night at the fireside chat. I say that everybody's data literate, because we are. If you have a smartphone, you're using data maybe without even knowing it. But are you data literate and confident enough to bring it to the business setting? That's a different story. Yeah. And so that's a part of data literacy, should be to remove the intimidation, to remove the fear. And especially, it's like, we're just going to help empower you to do your job better. And so, okay, that's great. And I think most leaders and most people want to know how to do their job better. Well, this is a tool that can enable you to do that. So let's just give you a few skills to make it happen.
Didn't we call it data phobia?
That could be, yeah.
Data phobia on the drive.
Yeah.
For the data cheaters to go.
Before the data cheaters.
Yeah. Anything, any topic that's on top of mind for you that you've been pondering?
Not necessarily pondering. I think we've hit on a lot of them, but I think if I could end with one critical thought for everybody who ever hears about data literacy, is we're not trying to turn you into a data scientist. And I think that is a fear. Or we're not trying to make it so tools and technology overtake you. We're just trying to give you skills to be able to use data as a part of your job that then hopefully removes some of that fear that you're talking about, right? Can we give you a tool? Like we're using phones to record this, microphones to record this. These are tools to empower us when it gets edited, tools to empower the editing. Well, if you're in marketing, if you're in sales, what if we give you another tool to do your job better? And that's what data is. And I think if you teach it that way, it's a little more transparent. It's easier to understand that that's what that's for. We're not going to teach math formulas as much as I like it. We're not going to teach statistics as much as I like it. Let's teach you other things that just give you something else to use in your job.
And then if we change the perspective slightly to the leader, the data leader, the departmental leader, perhaps it's finance department, perhaps marketing department, engineering, and they want to sort of embrace the first step towards this, sort of words of advice to those leaders that are looking at this.
Reach out to these two. And I genuinely mean that. Like, because they're going to be, if you try and just read articles online, you can maybe figure it out. But there are people who believe in this, who get it, right? And so I would find someone that you can trust and say, help us understand this more. That's kind of the first level, is give us a good understanding of what this is. And then your next step is, okay, how do we implement it? And so you can look online, you can find things online, or you can reach out to people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. Great. Greg, any closing thoughts from your side?